Imagine an online order system during a major sale. Thousands of customers place orders at the same time, but payment, inventory, shipping, and notification services cannot all process work at the same speed. If every service must respond immediately, one slow component can delay or break the complete order flow. Amazon's Simple Queue service, or Amazon SQS, solves this by placing a durable buffer between producers and consumers. In this video, we will build a clear mental model of SQS, compare standard and FIFO queues, follow the message lifecycle, and learn visibility timeout, dead letter queues, idempotency, and SNS fanout. We will finish with a practical order architecture and system design interview takeaways. Let us begin with the real problem: tight coupling. In this architecture, the Order API directly calls payment, inventory, shipping, and notification services. The customer request remains open while every down-the-stream operation finishes. That creates three risks. First, the response becomes slow because total latency includes every service call. Second, a failure in one dependency can cascade back and fail the entire order. Third, traffic spikes hit all connected services at the same time, even when some of them cannot scale quickly. The architecture may work at low volume, but it becomes fragile under load. We need a way to accept work quickly and let each service process it independently. Think of a busy restaurant. The waiter accepts an order and places the ticket on a rack. The chef takes the next ticket when ready. The waiter does not stand beside the chef until the meal is completed. In the cloud version, the producer is the waiter. The message is the order ticket. SQS is the durable ticket rack, and the consumer is the chef. This separation is called asynchronous processing. The producer can continue accepting new work while consumers process messages at their own speed. If demand increases, we can add more consumers without changing the producer. The key idea is simple. A queue separates the intake of work from the execution of work. Amazon SQS is a fully managed message queuing service. Producers send messages to a queue, and one or more consumers retrieve and process them. AWS manages the underlying infrastructure, availability, and scaling, so we do not maintain message brokers ourselves. Messages are stored redundantly, which makes the queue a durable buffer between application components. A queue can absorb a sudden burst of incoming work, even when consumers are temporarily slower. Standard queues support a very high, nearly unlimited number of API calls, while FIFO queues add ordering and deduplication controls. Message retention is configurable from 1 minute to 14 days. The default is 4 days. That is why SQS acts like a shock absorber for distributed systems. Now follow one message through its complete lifecycle. First, a producer sends the message, and SQS stores it durably. A consumer then polls the queue and receives the message with a receipt handle. Receiving does not remove the message. Instead, SQS temporarily hides it from other consumers using the visibility timeout. During that period, the consumer executes the business logic. If processing succeeds, the consumer must call delete message using the receipt handle. If the consumer crashes or the timeout expires before deletion, the message becomes visible again, and another consumer can retry it. This behavior improves reliability, but it also means the application must safely handle redelivery. The most important rule is receive, process, and explicitly delete only after success. Standard queues are the default choice when throughput and elasticity are more important than strict ordering. They support a very high, nearly unlimited rate of send, receive, and delete API calls. Delivery is at least once, so a message can occasionally arrive more than once. Ordering is best effort, which means messages usually appear in sequence, but may occasionally arrive out of order. For that reason, consumers should be idempotent and must not depend on perfect ordering. Standard queues fit background jobs, image or video processing, log pipelines, email notifications, and many event-driven workloads. Choose standard when the work can be processed independently and the application can tolerate duplicates and occasional reordering. FIFO means first in, first out. Use a FIFO queue when the order of operations matters or duplicate sends must be suppressed. Ordering is maintained within each message group. For example, every event for Order 101 can use the same message group ID, while other orders use different groups and can run in parallel. A message deduplication ID, or content-based deduplication, lets SQS recognize a retried send during the 5-minute deduplication interval. AWS describes this as exactly once processing within the SQS delivery model, but application-level idempotency is still a strong safety practice for failures around external databases or APIs. FIFO throughput depends on region, batching, quotas, and high-throughput configuration, so treat any single TPS figure on a slide as configuration-specific and confirm the quota for your deployment. The queue choice should come from the business rule, not from the service name. Choose standard when you need maximum scale, best effort ordering is acceptable, and your consumer can handle duplicates. Choose FIFO when events for the same entity must remain in sequence, or a duplicate send could create an incorrect business result. FIFO ordering is controlled through message groups, and the queue name must end with .FIFO. Standard queues require the application to manage duplicate processing. FIFO provides a 5-minute deduplication mechanism. Pricing and throughput vary by region and configuration, so avoid hard-coding the value shown here into an architecture decision. Ask one question first. What breaks if a message is duplicated or processed out of order? Visibility timeout is the temporary lock placed on a received message. At time 0, a consumer receives the message, and SQS hides it from other consumers. The consumer must finish the work and delete the message before the timeout expires. If processing takes too long or the worker crashes, the message becomes visible again and can be delivered to another worker. The default queue visibility timeout is 30 seconds, but production systems should set it according to measured processing time. A practical starting point is to leave enough safety margin for normal variance rather than using the average alone. For unpredictable or long-running jobs, the worker can call change message visibility to extend the timeout. Monitor retries carefully because a timeout that is too short creates duplicate work. With short polling, receive message checks only a subset of SQS servers and returns immediately. That can produce empty or false empty responses, which means the consumer repeats API calls even when useful work is not returned. Long polling waits briefly for a message and checks all SQS servers, reducing empty responses and unnecessary requests. Any wait time greater than 0 enables long polling, and the maximum is 20 seconds. For most worker applications, setting receive message wait time seconds to 20 seconds is a good default. Also ensure the HTTP client timeout is longer than the SQS wait time. Long polling is not magic or free. Its value is that it reduces empty receive calls, cost, and noisy polling loops. A poison message is a message that repeatedly fails because of malformed data, an unsupported schema, or a permanent business error. Without a dead letter queue, the message can return again and again, consuming capacity and hiding healthy traffic. Configure a redrive policy on the source queue with a max receive count. After that many failed receives, SQS moves the message to the DL queue for isolation and investigation. The DL queue gives the team time to inspect the payload, logs, error reason, and consumer version without blocking the main workload. After fixing the root cause, use a DLQ redrive task to move selected messages back to their source queue or another destination. Start redrive slowly and monitor it, because replaying the same poison data without a fix only recreates the failure. Idempotency means that processing the same logical event more than once produces only one business result. Suppose a payment message is delivered twice. We must not charge the customer twice. Add a stable event ID or business idempotency key to the message. Before applying the business change, write that identifier to a database table with a unique constraint, ideally in the same transaction as the business update. If the insert succeeds, process the event and then delete the SQS message. If the unique constraint says the event was already completed, treat the duplicate as a successful no-op and delete it. Also, think about failures between the external side effect and the database write. Services such as payment gateways often support their own idempotency keys. Reliability belongs in the application layer, as well as the queue. Here is the practical architecture. The customer sends an order through the API gateway to the order service. Instead of synchronously executing every downstream task, the service writes work to separate queues for payment, inventory, shipping, and notifications. Each queue has its own worker fleet and can scale independently. If the shipping provider is slow, shipping messages remain buffered while payment and inventory continue. This gives us fault isolation, independent scaling, and configuration freedom. We may use FIFO for payment events when order and deduplication matter, while notifications can use a standard queue for higher scale. In production, publish the order state safely, often with a transactional outbox, and add encryption, least privilege IAM, alarms, DLQs, and idempotent consumers. Advanced scaling often involves an SNS and SQS fan-out pattern. By publishing an event once to an SNS topic, you can deliver identical copies to multiple SQS queues, achieving full decoupling and easy extensibility. Let us close with the design checklist. For maximum throughput and workloads that tolerate reordering, start with a standard queue. Use FIFO when ordering within a message group and deduplication are business requirements. Verify the current regional throughput quota and enable high throughput mode when needed. Batch send, receive, and delete operations can handle up to 10 messages per request and improve efficiency. For reliability, make consumers idempotent. Choose a visibility timeout from measured processing behavior and attach a dead letter queue for poison messages. For cost and latency, use long polling, commonly the 20-second maximum, and avoid empty polling loops. Use SNS with multiple SQS queues for fan-out. The interview takeaway is this: SQS is not merely a pipe. It is the durable shock absorber that decouples and protects distributed systems. Thanks for learning with Naveen Tech Hub.